Hello
So,
and welcome.
so amateur
Josh,
shit is this?
God,
Give him some
you can't
leeway.
interrupt the flow. Yeah, give me the loop. It'll flow then.
I'll not
Okay.
interrupt when next time you start.
Yes, you will, you liar. I know you're well enough for that. Hello and welcome.
Promise.
I was waiting for it. I've got this written down. This was quickly concocted. Okay. Hello and welcome to this month's exciting edition of Around the Console, where tonight we're going to be discussing Nemesis, that amazing Alton Towers ride, opened in 90... Hang on a minute. No, it's not. Wrong. Sorry. No, it's not. It's Nemesis, the amazing track 9 on Alanis Morissette's Such Pretty Fun. No, it's not. Fucking hell, what we're reviewing. Silver Nemesis, that amazing Seventh Doctor story done in 1988, I think. And tonight, as always, I'm joined by my awesome fellow travel companions in time. It's Cliff, Suki, John, and Bob. Hello, gentle people.
This is what you get when you give Craig a chance to prepare something. This is what you get, boys.
You get overexcited.
Chance to shine. That was brilliant, Craig. Well done.
Absolutely.
Don't need ChatGPT, Craig.
Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
no, I know. Went over my head that. So yes, tonight we're doing Silver Nemesis. Now, obviously, we're doing first thoughts first. I'm going to leave till the end because I think Bob's a little bit biased in this whole era of Doctor Who, and for regular listeners, you'll know exactly why. So I'm going to come to Suki first. Hello, darling. Not seen you for ages.
Hello, sweetie.
How are you doing? And what do you think of Silver Nemesis?
Right, Silver Nemesis. It's a bit of a mess of a story, I think. But it has its good points in that it goes from scene to scene, and it's quick and exciting, and all this stuff still going on, but it doesn't make a lick of sense. That's all I'm going to say about it. Go on.
Okay. Were you trying to lick the sense out of it, Suki? I was just curious.
I did try and lick the screen when Sylvester was on, but each time it went to self-order and I had to switch off.
I can understand, yeah. It's that red shiny umbrella that probably did it, maybe. Cliff, darling, your views on Silver Nemesis?
I thought, well, this is it. I've seen it 3 times in my life, I think. I can't remember anything more than that. But similar to Suki, it just feels like there's too much in it. They could have got rid of some of the characters easily. I'm not sure if it was originally written to be 4. It seemed weird being 3. It seemed really tight and condensed. But there is enough characterization in it. Okay. It's okay.
It's okay. So it's 2 kind of mediocre ones so far. We've had Suki try to lick it and Cliff thinking it was a bit tight. So we're going for John, darling. You're next on this. Now, normally I do leave it till the end, but obviously I'm leaving Bob till the next time.
Yeah. No, I agree with Bob. It's great. It's great. It's great. I know. I really enjoyed it, and I thought your criticisms about it are a bit picky because it featured all the Doctor Who tropes that you need. It featured all. It had spacey stuff. It had history stuff. That fucking is what I want the show.
I did like the Nazis,
and like and it had great settings, and it was just the Doctor's on form. There's a couple of things didn't make sense. The asteroid stuff I don't understand much, but that's a small price to pay for what is otherwise a quite entertaining journey, I thought. I agree with Bob.
Was your first ever viewing of Silver Nemesis, John?
Of course it was. I'm the last, by the way. Just probably.
You never know; it might haunt you, and you might decide in the middle of the night one night to come downstairs and watch Silver Nemesis.
No, I really enjoyed the historical aspect of it. I thought that was really well done and interwoven with modernity and stuff. That's proper timey Doctor Who stuff.
Excellent. See, you've already ridden the bar because, unlike Suki and Cliff that were talking smut, you're talking about modernity. So you've now taken us to
smut. When did I get
down
that?
You were licking the Doctor when he was on screen.
Yeah,
Remember, that's what you said. Okay, Bobster, come on now. Now it's a little bit pointless, maybe, but we shall see the deeper feelings from Bob.
It's
what do you think?
It's a mess. It's quite charming, but there's reasons why it's a mess. JNT was a bit too involved in this one, wanting all Cybermen, blah blah blah. The writer was a cocky, he probably is a clever guy, but never written Doctor Who before, trying to fit in stuff that it just isn't. It's kind of, I enjoy it. I love it. It's Sylvester McCoy, but looking at it now after a few years since I watched it, oh my God, there's plenty wrong with it. There's plenty that's trying to be there but doesn't get there. From the era.
Courtney Pine is in it. There's fucking Cybermen. What more do you want? Like?
Yeah, there's Courtney Pine. That's what I mean. It ticks a lot of boxes in a fun way.
Yeah.
But if we're looking at it with a critical eye, there's many things it doesn't deliver. But it's not the fault of its own. It's the fault of the people writing and producing it, basically. Really. Yeah, and not just them. It's that there's things that were out of their hands as well. So there's a lot of things that went on behind the scenes production, which, when you know about them, you see them on screen, because even if you didn't, something's not quite right for this particular era of Doctor Who, because there's some brilliant stuff there. And this is the 25th anniversary special that suffered the worst for it.
Exactly. It doesn't feel like anyone thought. It just came up and went, oh, it's 25th. Let's stick silver on it. Let's stick Cybermen in it. Lastminute.com.
There's a lot of stuff, as Bob says, behind the scenes that did happen. Now, Craig, what do you think about it?
Well, I'm totally shocked. Obviously, I chose this as a suggestion. I love this story. I think it's brilliant. I always have done. I truly love it. It's one of my go-to episodes of McCoy. I'm really interested in how you're going to ruin my dreams now, because you're just going to decimate a program that I love. And then leave me crying in a pit at the end. So yeah, okay. I don't know very much about what was going on behind the scenes of this. I just love it because I'm a proper fan, not like you four. So go on, Steve, tell me what. Tell me what was going on behind the scenes.
There was this was commissioned, and as a 25th anniversary story, they put a lot of stuff on there to make sure it was to coincide with this story, but because showing which was the story that was being recorded earlier overran, Sylvester and Sophie were not available for rehearsals, and because of that, there was no finessing of the script, and also because of that, they overran loads of scenes. They extra scenes were filmed left, right, and centre all over the place, and because this was also like scenes that explained some of the motivations, some of the characters doing this sort of stuff, and how one character gets to another place and so on. This is all filmed, but because they need to fit into a 23-minute slot with before credits, a lot of stuff was just cut out of it. Now, most of this stuff went back in on a VHS release, which is in the other room at the moment. But otherwise, I'd be flashing it right now for the YouTubers. But the video case. But this is all back in. The episodes went up from 22.5 up to about 29, nearly 29, 28, and something like 27 or something like that. So there's a lot of footage put back in, and it explained a bit more. But because of all this is why I come to the point where there's a lot of stuff happening, and it's really exciting to watch, and it is entertaining to watch. But once you're thinking, why is that character suddenly here? How did the statue get from this particular place to the crypt? How did why is
it followed the TARDIS, didn't it?
No, it followed. I don't know how Lady Peinforte, the statue, basically. How's the statue was in the comic coming down?
Yeah.
So how did it end up in the crypt?
He followed the TARDIS. There's a sentence on it.
No, but Lady Peinforte opened up the crypt.
It's fine. It's fine as is.
It's
works.
It's
a
also
good little Doctor Who.
Yeah, he just follows.
If you hadn't already watched Remembrance of the Daleks, it would feel a little bit more unique. But it's the same bloody story as Remembrance of the Daleks as well.
I understand
that. You got Nazis in it. You got different tribes of Daleks, different tribes of Cybermen. The only thing
have you?
Well, they start fighting together. But the good thing is, I did enjoy Lady Peinforte, whatever her name is. I thought she was a great character.
I love her.
I think she was good, but I don't think they needed the Nazis in it. I just felt it was too much.
There were too many elements. Yeah, I will concede that. The fact that all the elements they did do were great was irrelevant. But yeah, there was too much. It did muddy the waters a little.
it kind of, I don't know, was this originally written as a 4-parter? Because it did feel like
Felt
it
like
should
it
have been.
should have been.
No, it was always a 3-parter.
Yeah.
See, for
It's always a
me,
three- Go on.
it can just feel, I get exactly, and there's an awful lot going on. You've got different time periods, you've got the Dots, you've got the Cybermen, you've got the Nazis, you've got Lady Peinforte, you've got all that in there. But for once, it doesn't feel empty. It doesn't feel like it's clawing for time just to pad out an episode. It feels non-stop.
Oh, it's
So for me,
fast. It is fast.
That's why I loved it. And I don't see any big gaps in the story, which is what I'm really curious about. I think it's all very cleverly woven through, maybe a sentence here or something like that. But I just loved it. I think I agree. Or maybe it goes back to the first viewing, which was the video that Suki talked about, which had all the extras like green cakes, and I looked at that, and I was quite disappointed that wasn't on the DVD when I went to watch it. But yeah, I think it's. I don't think it is too fast. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Go on, Cliff. Sorry.
So I was going to say, Suki, that extension, does it explain like the beginning of the Nemesis a little bit more? Because I felt this was missing a good prologue. Like it could have done with
I don't think that's in there because I haven't watched the video of this now since probably about 20 odd years. So it's been a while since I've seen that. But I remember watching this when it was shown, and I was really loving the story then, right? Because you saw action scenes, you ate with their catapult.
That bit is great. That bit is great.
Right? Yeah, it was exciting. This is one of the first videos I actually recorded straight off the telly as well. So I always used to rewatch this. So I was quite familiar with the story. And then watched the extended edition, if I remember correctly. There was a lot of stuff put back in, and they made the story a bit more coherent. There's always why this bit happened, because this bit happened, because that bit happened. But at the same time, I'm also thinking there was scenes in here which required action.
Like the social workers.
The social,
yeah, I agree. Although I do like that.
Like the Cybermen
American
reacting to
woman.
jazz.
Yeah.
Like,
but I love
me.
that bit when they all do that. I think it's genius.
The bowl bit was a waste of time. The bowl. We got the bowl. Give me the bowl. Give me the bowl. Take the freaking thing from them. They could have just punched him in the eye.
Well, this is where
Right
I want
next
to.
to them.
I want to interject.
They're all about,
this point.
they're all about consent, Chips. That's why they're all about consent.
Yeah.
Dr. Medlin, come on, Bob. You're going to tell us you love it, really, aren't you?
No, so one of my main frustrations is the Cybermen being shit, which happens a lot in Doctor Who, and these are probably up
Makes
there.
it more comedy.
They're just badly portrayed, badly scripted, and they're not scary at all in the slightest. These Cybermen, they're probably up there with Revenge of the Cybermen for being that bad a Cybermen, which I didn't see that at the time. But they're bad, and they're only rammed in there because JNT wanted it because it's silver, and he wanted the Cybermen in there. Same as he wanted the famous German actor.
He was great.
He was great. No, I'm not disputing him. He was very good. And the skinhead thing was like that was a thing at the time. And the kind of thing they wanted to, and it's quite clever the way they did it. They wanted to emphasize that these guys have come from medieval England and they've killed lots of people. So a couple of hoodlums who we'd be scared of in the 80s or now or whatever, are not a match for these sort of like, which come across a bit foppish, these people from medieval times. Brilliant. They're brilliant. I think that my issue is with it when Doctor Who's written in the hands of someone that is a Doctor Who fan, which the majority of writers at this time were. This guy, is it Kevin Clark? Kevin Clark. He is not a Doctor Who fan. Never known anything about Doctor Who. He just sort of blagged his way into getting they were desperate for writers, and he totally on a whim made this up as he was going along. Now, one of the things I do like, but it wasn't really. I don't know if it was well done or not.
Yeah, but and people like that we've got to take on some responsibility there, not just the writers' fault.
Oh no, absolutely.
I mean, they've got everybody involved in the production is like part of the Doctor Who. They should have said, "Oh, you can't have Cybermen after this shit."
I think that this is the one where there was JNT involvement. I think the majority of the rest of it, apart from the odd guest star, he wasn't really involved at this time. He didn't have an interest in it like he used to do. He was more interested in swinging off to conventions and partying or whatever else. But this is the one he got involved in the most. I think it suffers for that. I think that there's many brilliant things in it, like the two actors who were playing Lady Peinforte and the other dude. I think they're fantastic. I think the German guy's fantastic.
they're good.
I think Sylvester McCoy and Ace are brilliant in this. You know, considering they had no rehearsal time, I think they're absolutely fantastic. I think Courtney Pine being in it's genius.
I think I figured out why I don't like Ace, though.
Why?
Because she reminds me of a rich girl who's pretending to be one of the working class.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. I just was watching her, I'm thinking, that's fucking Rick for the young ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just, it seems like she's like, oh, she's all jolly hockey sticks, and then like, I'm part of the power and part of the street.
Yeah, there's a proper little shitty line what she does where she goes, "Oh, you know me, I'm not usually scared, but I'm scared now." And he goes, "Oh, go back to TARDIS, you know, for a cup of tea or whatever." And she goes, "No, it'll be okay." I thought, who writes that shit?
Yeah, that did feel like it was just
that
not
doesn't
needed.
feel like Ace. She wouldn't have said anything like that.
Well, it
was.
Yeah, I think that scene does refer back to another story though, which was Greatest Show in the Galaxy. So that she does say, "I'm not afraid of anything."
The irony of that
story.
episode's title as well.
So we've all said we're like Lady Peinforte, pretty much. Then what is it we like about? She's coming out as a real strong point of the film, the episodes, and she's for me.
I think we're like sexy women in corsets. You know, it's just women in dresses. It does it for all us middle-aged men.
Yeah. I think she's a brilliant actress. I think
she was. Yeah,
overly. It's played in the right way. Yeah. You know, because it is it's theatrically played.
Theatrical,
and it's great, and it works. It works great alongside the other guy that she's with. I just think she nailed it.
It felt like her and Richard were of that time, and their script was accurate, and it made you feel as though they were. And there weren't any slip-ups in terms of contemporizing anything. So,
well, Kevin Clarke, when he wrote it like in Shakespearean language and the way Shakespeare used to write his plays. But then J&T, I think, got involved and says, "No, you can't write it like that." And so they had to tone it down.
The idiots that watch Doctor Who won't be able to get it. That's
me. I wouldn't have got it. I wouldn't have got it. No. I would not have got it.
I think similar to Bob was saying. I think when John Nathan Turner came in, I think he ruined it. It might have been a better story without throwing. I don't think you need the Cybermen in as much as he is. He's not really well written, that bit. I think it just feels like it's been hastily put together. Because I think some great bits in it, and he is some great actors.
I think you've got too many. So you've got some quite big villains, and they are scary. Lady Peinforte is very powerful. She's got a lot of knowledge. She can travel in time, for God's sake, by some magical witch power liquid.
It's great.
Whatever. You know, you don't want to get into science of that, but she's a very powerful adversary. The Nemesis itself is a very powerful thing.
That's enough on their own.
Well, and then you've got the Nazis. That was fine. That was a strong, whatever. And the Cybermen were completely unnecessary.
Yeah,
you could have made it more. I do like the fact of, well, you can imagine Chibnall have watched this to give him an idea of the empty child, because of when she turns around and goes like, "Oh, he's a Time Lord," and then lady's like, "Well," and I thought, "Oh, is that like some kind of cool little thing that someone's picked up on?" And was they going to expand on that later? I don't know, because
the idea is basically is putting the mystery back into the Dr. Sylvester McCoy. With this one in particular, it's saying he's God without saying the word God. Is basically what they're trying to say. So he has got all these things going on, these places he needs to be at a certain time, hence the watch. You know, that he has to remember to do something because he is God. But they don't hit that nail on the head. But it's open to interpretation. That's what this does deliver quite well, and it does in the majority of the McCoy era. It delivers this mystery back of who is this very mysterious, very powerful, and very dangerous man who's interwoven in pretty much all. If you think about all the stories, take the Great Show of the Galaxy out of it. But you've got Curse of Fenric. Remember, it's the Daleks. If you look at Survival, all of them, he's in the story already. Or he's played a part in the history, or he's done something, or he's more powerful, or he's doing a solution where he's got to do it from his past. And they talk about the time of Omega, they talk about the time of Rassilon, they talk about the dark times, the old times on Gallifrey, because he's that old and that. So when you're saying about the the timeless child. You know, that's something that, like you're saying, Chibnall's done himself, and this is what Cartmel wanted to do without saying it.
Oh wow!
So that but to be fair to Kevin Clarke, it was his only idea when he came in for his script meeting. He went, Doctor Who is God, and then went from there basically. But the mystery element was always Cartmel's idea, you know, so it really sort of lent to that, and I think that was done brilliantly well. And I just think there's too many. I mean, there wasn't that many cooks in Doctor Who at this point. There was only JNT, there was Cartmel, you know, and the rest of the people were brought in, and a secretary. But I think there's too many people trying to do too much in this, which, it's great, it's fun, it's got all these things, but I don't think it quite delivers, which leaves me a little bit frustrated, Suki.
Well, as I says, as we've all said, there's too much going on in this story, too much, and there's elements that should have been taken out at the rehearsal stage and just taken out completely. But because certain other things were happening in the production, they went with whatever was written down, and they knew it was overlong, and they were just going to edit it out. Now, if they'd have put back all the stuff that explained some of the motivation behind some of the characters, it'd have been a more coherent story. But so they could have easily taken out, as I says, the skinhead scenes, and they could have taken out the hitchhiking with the American woman.
I love that. It's one of my favorite scenes.
I like. But these, if this was a 4-parter,
it would be great.
Cool.
Yeah.
You know, that American scene was fabulous, and again they got another actress in who JNT wanted in, and it was cool and it was funny, and the skinhead bit was good, because it showed that these two aren't just a pair of theatrical weirdos from medieval times. These are the real deal. You know, they'll string you up, and you know they've done a lot worse than you'll ever have done. You silly hooligans.
I mean, they were quite happy to strip those skinheads to their pants and leave them by a tree. I mean,
which
Craig's
done many times before, so it's nothing new.
Again, consent.
Consensually. Yeah. So, but yeah, there's a lot to it. I think if it had been given more time for rehearsing, for writing, for whatever, and 4 parts, you could have had a really special legendary 25th anniversary.
I think someone should have just thought that it was 25 years way before it and done something about it. You could tell that's just been added in.
Yeah, I'm really not certain that it's worthy of being thought of as that important to be dissed to such an extent. If you look at it in terms of like, it's just an episode of Doctor Who, 3 episodes of Doctor Who that's going to keep kids engaged.
Oh yeah, and it did. It's fine. Loved
That's
it,
one way to look
and
at
I've
it.
loved it forever.
I think if you try to look at it too hard, you're always going to find flaws. Like,
well, this is the podcast, isn't it? And this is the only way I can look at it now. You know, is with a more critical eye. Like I say, I'm looking at it with a more critical. I enjoyed it. I loved it. You know, I love any McCoy apart from Time and the Rani. You know, I just think it's wonderful, exciting, and new, and you know, different Doctor Who.
And the Rani.
We've done it before, I think, didn't we? Did we do it once?
No, I don't think we've done time. No, we've not done time around it.
We've been threatened with it.
Yeah,
I think.
You see, what I love about this
be a choice later.
is it's got the humor in there. Like, I just love that scene, like we said, in the limo, and then I get that it's too short. I wouldn't have taken anything out of it. Perhaps the skinheads, maybe.
What we're talking about here is too short. You wouldn't have taken anything out of it. What we talking?
Sorry. Did I say that? Oh, sorry. What I meant is, it was too ram tight. It would have been better as a 4.
Still what we're talking about.
In this episode, then I would have gone for a 4-parter. There's nothing I would have taken out of it other than the social worker scene. But what I love about it is it's got the humor, but the 3 elements to me are really significant 3 elements of Doctor Who. So you've got the political dealing with the contemporary baddies, as right, the development of the 4th Reich. You've got the history with Lady Peinforte, which is Doctor Who was set up partly for that. And then you've got the sci-fi, the bug-eyed monsters are coming along with the Cybermen. So for me, it's kind of not probably deliberately, but channeled each of those beautiful avenues that only really a program like Doctor Who can do. So I wouldn't have removed any of them. I think, to be honest, if any of those elements were removed, it would significantly have weakened the show.
It just needed to be more artfully done.
Yeah,
So,
a little longer. Always.
Cybermen. I mean, it's not just this. The Silver Nemesis is guilty of it. There's many Doctor Who adventures which are frustratingly guilty of making the Cybermen a bit shit when they have the potential to be awesome. And they're very, very rarely being written with their true potential and power and scariness. I mean, they go around converting other life forms. They're like the Borg, who were possibly one of the scariest.
Better than the Borg.
They could be better than the Borg.
In the evidence I've seen, lads.
Exactly. And this is the problem. They don't deliver, and these are particularly silly Cybermen in this.
Yeah.
They make Earthshock Cybermen look amazing. So it's like I think that's where the frustration is born out of. And I think when I was younger, I used to get frustrated by the mystery of McCoy's Doctor. When I was a kid, because I kind of wanted to know. But now I love that element. But
that last scene is great, isn't it? Who are you? And that's just brilliant.
That's awesome. It's been used loads of been taken out and used in little clips in YouTubes all over the place. Well, I must say though, it's got one of the best fight scenes from a companion.
Oh God, yeah.
I've not seen it. I don't think anyone else has done something like that.
It's super cool. There's a lot of action directed like that as well. Even for the budget, if you think about the big battle scene, it does look amazing. But like for the budget, that's pretty awesome. All the explosions,
at the time as well. Yeah.
And the chase with Ace when
I love that the darkness in the corridor going up I love that. And even the Cybermen kind of like when she's up on the galley as such and the TARDIS is below. I just love that. It was nicely done. It kept it really Doctor Who. There's the TARDIS, there's Ace, there's the Cybermen. What's she gonna do? And okay, it was a bit cheesy. They shot each other, but it worked. It is Doctor Who. That's even using the Daleks, isn't it?
Yeah. The fight sequences are great, but as we've always said, most of the baddies can't shoot for shit.
Yeah.
Right? And you got Ace, who sometimes just stands there getting a catapult ready, and easily one of the Cybermen could have just just took her out. But at the same time, how much distance do these catapults actually go with a gold coin in them?
You go a narrative framework distance, so that's just to fulfill the story.
Have you never fired a catapult within fun?
I don't think hers. She's not got one of those Black Widow things that go like a fucking bullet, though, is she?
I used to love. I used to love Black Widow. Yeah, back in there.
Yeah, I once used one. I put a penny in it, and I shot my brother. I got told up by my mum, but
is he dead?
No. It can't kill him. But it was like right at the end of the road. Boom. Got him right in the head.
It would kill Kenny with a catapult and a penny. He'll kill Kenny with a catapult and a penny. I'm on it tonight with rhymes.
You also had the other fight scene in this, which was the Nazis versus the Cybermen. Yeah. That was a really good fight scene. But again, you had Lady Peinforte shooting off arrows. And the first scene that you see Lady Peinforte in, she's got a rabbit in her sight, and she's only small distance away. She misses, right, and she doesn't hit the rabbit. But when she comes to this battle scene, she's knocking out Cybermen left, right, and centre.
Well, Cybermen are bigger than rabbits.
She's got her adrenaline going.
But I love that as well with the arrows. The fact that it's actually the arrow at the end that travels through the 3 episodes on the TARDIS door. That actually is part of the culmination of the story. I thought that was really cleverly done. And you get the little sequences of it materializing and dematerializing with the arrow in. And I just love that anyway. And then the fact
do you know what? The more we talk about Lady Peinforte, the more I think how awesome she just walks around in 80s England like it's nothing. Like she owns the place. Like she's basically Missy. Before I think just imagine if she had a proper face off with McCoy's Doctor. I know they're kind of doing this, but it doesn't really fully feel realized to me. Yeah. But she's so awesome as a villain.
Those scenes you're going on about at Windsor, when I watched it originally back in the 80s, and I thought, okay, that stands out a bit. What's she doing? People would notice that straight away. But the fact is, she's at Windsor, which is like an historical town, and there's probably all sorts of role-playing going on about people going on about the history of the place and stuff. So having these two walking around in period costume probably wouldn't have stood out.
That makes sense.
That now makes sense to me now.
That scene, though, when she materialized in the cafe and those women aside watching and gossiping about it, is a little bit unrealistic. If two people just materialize now, I wouldn't have a cup of tea.
It's Dr. fucking Who, Craig. It's all fucking unrealistic.
And also, it's comedy affecting it. There's, it is quite funny.
Oh, and they're screaming as they arrive. I love that bit.
Yeah,
that is fun. Yeah.
When she was in the cafe shop, I was hoping she'd turn around and say a line out of Whiff Down and say, "Give me wine, give me all your wine." I thought that'd be so fun.
Just to get rid of the taste of human blood that she just had to drink.
I know. Well, that's another thing that was sinister as well. You know, when the guy done all his calculations and they killed him through his blood for the witch, portion time travel juice.
She's really evil, really. If you stop and think, she's
brilliant.
great. And the way she demises into total madness that she leaps in, I just think she's a great character.
And I think it's another one of those characters where you think, how come they didn't bring her back again?
Well, she's died at the end now.
But she does say,
people. She must be part of this type of other people who has this magic juice, wasn't she?
Magic juice.
Craig's got magic juice.
I would deliberately.
He's got magic juice.
I like a bit of magic juice. Tastes good. Anyway, let's talking about Richard, and he's staying behind at the end because obviously he's there with his little looty thing, isn't he, or whatever it is. Is that realistic that he just fits in so easily?
No, he went back. They took him back.
They went back.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm getting mixed up with what's one where they just stay behind Anselin.
What, a different show? Okay.
No, I'm getting mixed up with
Coronation Street.
Battlefield, yeah.
I got mixed up with Battlefield. Yeah, sorry, he does. Yeah.
Which I kind of love. That I love. Like, I'm surprised Big Finish haven't jumped on it and gone back and done an episode with him and how he's got on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because he was a space knight, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a space knight. But they've had the Brigadier Bearer back to do a show. They've done a lot of series. I think a couple of series with her.
I do love how
be there in the background.
I do love how sci-fi just sci-fi things up by putting space in front of a random word.
I think I used
space pirate spaceship.
Yeah. But yeah, it's cool, man. I like I say, it's I'm being very critical of it because we're doing the podcast.
Yeah.
But I do.
Well, I'm the one who's fully supporting this one, Bob.
I'm totally with you, John. I'm right behind you, as always.
I mean, that's worrying, but okay, we'll take it.
Exactly, darling.
You will, John. You will take it.
You will be taking
it. I will take it, yeah.
So come on, can we have positive things then? Because I think we have been quite critical, but can we just have a few more? What about the music? Anything on the music?
Good.
I did love the idea of jazz being piped in and jamming up the Cybermen's radio.
Yeah.
I thought that was brilliant,
and I love
because you can imagine that your general viewer of Doctor Who, if your dad's in the room watching it with you, he's like, "What the fuck is jazz?" And you see, that's exactly the confounding effect it has on the Cybermen.
It's the same. It's the same with me. If I hear jazz, I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" but Courtney Pine was a huge, sort of
massive there
deal at the time. I mean, even I've heard of him. And he's not because of Doctor Who. Yeah.
Well, that's positive.
It is. What about the Cybermen's henchmen that come out to shoot the Doctor, though, at the
twins.
episode 1? The twin men. I mean, let's just talk about them because they surely deserve a little bit of conversation.
With their headphones on.
Yeah.
Just to show that the Cybermen.
Yeah. And they really are good aims as well, aren't they? Kind of like we said. And they just stood there doing absolutely nothing. Like, yeah, they're a bit.
They would have been poorly realised. I mean, they've just been converted.
Kind way of saying it.
Yeah, they're converted into cyber humans or whatever they were.
Yeah.
But they just basically most of the time they just stood around and they were poor shots.
Yeah,
because they hide in the bushes as they walk by and they still manage to miss Listener and Salford. Right, I just think, it's terrible.
It's the kind of pre before the surprise it's going to be Cybermen, isn't it? That's kind of so they can't be Cybermen.
But I love the mythology they build up in this as well, with the lights coming on and off. I mean, I use that even now. Whenever lights flicker, I always go, the Cybermen are coming. Because I still use that. But I think that scene as well, where the Doctor and Ace are in the water and they're kind of floating down streams and the Doctor spits out the water, that goes on a bit long. It kind of just like feels like it's getting tired with the music during the 80s.
The music is, it's very of the time and a little overbearing at times. A bit too upbeat and probably inappropriate at times, I'd say. But I do enjoy I do enjoy the 80s, particularly this era's music. But I think in this one, it's just a bit over top and inappropriate, I'd say, in parts.
I'm a bit with Cliff on liking it, actually. But yeah, just at times it goes a bit.
No, I'm not. I enjoy it. I like it. I just think it's a bit too much in this one.
Anything else from anyone? Or are we coming to the point where we need to talk about our final 2 words for this? Anyone else got any things they want to raise about it?
Thinking about 2 words. I mean,
2 words.
Yeah.
Let's do our 2 words then. So in that case, I'm gonna start off with Suki, darling. 2 words. And any final thoughts on 2 words?
There ain't much I'm going to add to it. I mean, as I says, when I first watched it, I really enjoyed it, and it's one of the shows that I kept playing back again and again because I'd actually record. Yeah, might have done. But since I've rewatched it, and I've not really watched the special edition, which does put a lot of stuff in, including apparently I think there's a painting of Ace that was drawn sometime in the past, and they discover it when they're walking around the vault where the Queen's presents are. We don't mention the Queen either. Queen appears with her corgis. But I will just say it's my 2 words going to be a disappointing special, right? Because if this was going to be a special, it should have been a full-on, really, really good special. But it is disappointing because there's a lot of elements that just didn't make sense, and the story sort of meandered, even though it was quite exciting. So yeah, disappointing special.
Okay. Do you know what I was trying to find? Because I remember the special edition, and I thought it was on the DVD, and I was like, "Where is it?"
No, it's VHS.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't.
How come they not moved it?
Yeah, they should.
Yeah, I was worried about that. Yeah, maybe I'm hoping they'll bring it out when they release season 24. Then they'll put it on there. Yeah, because they also had the making of, didn't they? They had that like American whatever film production that's showing how they did it, which I loved watching. That it was brilliant. It showed how they made the bow and
very light on extras on the DVD as well. It's like a one that's boshed out, I think, really.
Yeah, because the first thing I did was go to find the special edition one, and it just like threw me. And then like you, I got a bit like, has it been released somewhere else on VHS, on video, on DVD?
That's right. I thought special edition, but no.
Yeah. So disappointing special from Suki. Cliff. 2 words. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts is, like I said, it's got one of the best action scenes in for a companion. I can't think of anyone else who's had such great thing. Ace relationship is great with the Doctor, as always. I think them two are really good together. I don't think they're my favorite, but I just like them both together, really good. The story's just okay. It's worth a watch. Anyone who's not seen it, I'm not totally slagging it off. The 2 words would be not the cough. Sterling silver.
Oh, nice. Sterling silver. Did you think that right on the top of your head, then?
How do you spell sterling?
Oh, don't be cruel. It's just evil, isn't it? Oh. So
for listeners, that's a picture of Suki at one of his conventions. And if you've not listened to me and Suki,
he was sandwiched between
Sylvester McCoy and Ace. Oh, there he is with Paul McGann. Everyone who's listening,
Paul McGann looks thrilled.
Yeah, one of the conventions. And if you've not listened to me and Suki in convention conversation. Check out our previous episode, bonus edition, that me and Suki caught up and talked to Suki about him straddling Daleks and stuff.
Daleks. Katie Manning style. Loved it.
Yeah.
So, John, over to you. Final thoughts, 2 words.
Final thoughts is it was a Doctor episode that I watched. It was fine. I was because it's Bob's era and he loves this and he keeps wanting to watch Silver Nemesis again and again. I think I built it up enough that it actually worked for me because I'd built it up enough. So I was thinking of Sean Locke the other day. So my 2 words are challenging wank. I think it's appropriate. I think as well.
I was about to say that your love for Bob made you love this, but then following that with challenging
also
wank,
challenging wank as well for the love of Bob.
Absolutely. Yeah, but challenging wank ticks a lot of boxes. So
yeah,
for many reasons.
Okay, Bob, over to you. Final thoughts, 2 words.
I did enjoy it. I'm being critical of it because I can. and there's reason to be. But I was pleased we picked it, and I'm very pleased I've watched it again. It's been a while, and I'm pleased I maybe didn't watch it with the rose-tinted spectacles. I'm very good at watching this era.
You lent them to me, hadn't you?
I must have lent to you, John. Yes, definitely. Craig had all of them as well when he watched it. But it was. I'm going to go with two words. So nearly there, and the other one is more Penfold or Peinforte, whatever she's called.
Yeah,
Peinforte.
Yeah,
I thought
more
Crikey, Danger Mouse.
I
should have brought her back.
Yeah, she was awesome.
She was good, yeah.
You can always bring people back from the dead in Doctor Who.
Of course you can. Look how many times it happens to Messi and Master.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm just a bit, I don't know, I feel other than John. I hope I've emphasized how much I love this one so much. I think the Doctor and Ace are brilliant in it. I love the three strands of the story. The sequences, the battles, like Cliff mentioned, are fantastic. I just really, really, really love this story and always have done. So for me, it's anniversary Ace. I think.
That's a good one.
I love it. You see, you could have done that because you didn't love it.
By the way, I forgot to mention. I want you to mention the boombox that she carries around with the extra bits of an Airfix kit.
Oh, Nitro 9 and stuff.
I don't know. That was Ace.
Oh, Suki, darling.
Right. Just before we sign off, we had a conversation last night on WhatsApp as to we were just talking about stuff, and I did mention you should be watching Survival. Well, the thing is, I thought we were watching Survival for this episode. And I watched that twice.
You did mention
that. And I watched that twice over the last.
So is that going to be your suggestion for the next episode?
No, it's not. And I've had to watch
everyone pick Survival
today.
No.
That's hilarious. Oh, Suki, darling.
So it wasn't until last night when I went, "What do you mean? Isn't it Silver Nemesis?" And you were like, "Yeah."
Yeah, you did. It was a quick. Yeah, it was like you could imagine that. Oh dear. So before we talk about our mini podcast that'll be coming out next, let's talk about next time and what our choices will be for our next review. So to start with, bear in mind that we are heading in towards the new
November, innit?
Yeah. Cliff, I'm going to come to you first, darling. What might your choice be for a review?
Bit of a side one. Wouldn't have usually picked it, but because what's coming. The Celestial Toymaker.
Oh,
good
shout.
shout.
No, that is absolute.
Because it leads on to the next. What's coming up?
I'm just going to come in here now and say, I've already backed John. I've already been around the back of John. I'm standing behind Cliff this time. I'm going to back Cliff, and I'm going to go Celestial Toymaker as well. That was actually my choice, exactly with what's coming. So I know I'll leave John till the end because he'll be reviewing which is a short one or which is a crap one.
There's only one episode available for that. The rest are all going to be.
It's all, yeah.
There's also the Target novelisation.
The Target novel.
Yeah, he's selling it about like 40 quid at the moment. I did Google how much that would be when
which I do have. It's £40.
Could you photocopy each page and send it to me?
I'll send you the PDF, Craig.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant stuff. So that's Celestial Toymaker from Cliff and myself. I'm going to come to you, Suki, because I saw the look of horror when we suggested that.
Yeah, I've had to review that for a podcast a while ago, and
what? He's on another podcast.
Oh, he's such a yeah. Hang on, and you might change your mind if you know it's coming up shortly.
Yeah, so I'm never ever going to pick that story.
What a bitch, Suki.
Yeah, he just dropped it in there, didn't he? Look at my
podcast. I want to rewatch.
In fact, Suki doesn't get a choice this time.
Oh, shut up!
Go on, Suki.
I do get a choice.
You want Survival?
No, I can't have Survival again. I've watched that twice now as well. It's going to be Deep Breath because I quite like rewatching Deep Breath. Peter Capaldi.
Deep Breath. All right.
Right, Bobster.
I'm going to join you with this. I was going to pick.
Come on, this is going to be three against.
I was going to pick the 5 Doctors, but I think we've done it, haven't we?
Yeah.
Not on this one. I don't. We have talked about 5 Doctors before. I know that, but I don't know when.
We've done the 5 Doctors probably.
Right.
It's only because it's got that the new definitive edition on the new Blu-ray, and I thought before I watch it, I might pause it. But no, I'm going to go with the Celestial Toymaker because I quite like reading the Target novelisation. I quite like we're not done a missing for a while.
Get in.
And it's very relevant.
Whoa. It's a missing.
Yeah, it's a missing story. That's what it says. It's telling
right.
4 parts.
Okay.
So
plus 1 episode.
No, it's fine.
You can just read a synopsis, John.
Well, the Target novels, they'd be tiny. They're never big, are they?
Yeah. I don't think that one is. It's small print on the.
I have to confess, and it's a bit sad. I was hoping to hold up at this point, but rather sweetly, Matt has bought me offline. Obviously, someone's just created a disc of the missing episode and the telly snaps and packed it in a Celestial Toymaker case, and he's ordered that for me offline. Yeah, it was only about £6-7. He found it on eBay, I think. I mean, I know you can get it technically free, but he didn't know that when he did it.
Yeah, but at least you've got it in one place. You're not
absolutely.
Mess about.
Well, I did think I would want to watch it definitely before I see the 60th anniversary, because I don't know anything about Celestial Toymaker. So I thought that's actually really nice, and then he just did it. So, John, it's over to you. This is getting very close.
I was just browsing about. I'm not going to help any of you fuckers with your choices. So I'm going to do my own thing.
One of these kids is doing his own thing. So.
I was looking at the Invasion of Time, but found out it's 6 episodes. So fuck that. And I've decided to go with the Mark of the Rani.
Interesting.
Because Bob mentioned the time in the Rani, and I thought, I'll have a look at that. And then I thought there was a Rani episode earlier than that, so I'll go for that
Mark of the Rani. Wow.
And you saw it was 2 episodes, but they are 2 50-minute episodes. So
yeah,
we're all in. We're all in. I'm
all in. Come on, roll.
It's 4. So it's Cliff.
Oh, yes.
Celestial Time.
There you
Just
go.
listen back to the audio, the podcast you did last time, Suki. Remind yourself what you said. You'll be sassy.
Yeah. With your friends.
I'll tell you what I said. It was
podcast with your friends.
Don't tell us now. Wait for
your
the right
besties.
episode.
Your best friends.
Yeah.
Who are they? Just so I can drop them some hate mail.
There's Mark Cochran and Ian Martin on all the time, I suppose.
I quite like those.
I like that podcast. No.
Yeah, I can't do it then. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, okay. So next time then, lovely listeners, to whet your appetites and get you all excited and giddy for the return of Doctor Who in November at some point, as yet undisclosed, despite the many things I read about when it's coming on. We're getting in the mood by reviewing the Celestial Toymaker. But until then, just in case you need to, you can always listen to our next little mini podcast, which will be dropping into your in a few weeks' time, which is our review of the Big Finish audio, The Trouble with Drax. Until then, it's goodbye from all of us, and enjoy getting ready for the 60th. What do we say, folks? We say goodbye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Like this.